Hey guys, so I'm back. I think it's important to talk to about the next episode and this latest episode of The Simpsons if we're gonna talk about Lisa and her body issues, because I think it was really important, a lot of the topics they go over in this latest episode. We see Bart and Lisa unfortunately succumb to some very not good sicknesses due to something their father, of course, got them into. And they are put on steroids. The side effect?
So we'll be fine after a little TLC. By TLC, I mean taking Lorexocortisone. And by little, I mean a 4-week intensive regimen.
Steroids? Are there any side effects?
Nothing serious. Maybe a little temporary weight gain.
In the next scene, we see 4 weeks later, Bart and Lisa have gained weight. They're excitedly coming down for school. And then we have the scene with Marge and Lisa.
Oh, look at that belly. Someone's getting chunky.
Chunky?
In this scene, there's this moment of, Marge is trying to be almost, it's like this motherly moment, but for Lisa, who has clearly struggled with body issues in the past, chunky is not the word she wants to hear about herself. And I think for her, she's even shocked because her mother does understand or know that she had gone through this struggle with weight in the past. And so I think to have her completely disregard how Lisa was feeling in the past about her body, and now to call her chunky when she's already weight sensitive, this is really, really damaging for Lisa. At first, she's super excited for school and she's not trying to let this get her down, but unfortunately, it's all she can think about all day.
What about what Mom said? Don't let it ruin the first day of school. That's the best day of the year.
Welcome, class. This year we'll be learning lessons that will stay with you for the rest of your lives.
Lisa, we see her struggle continue, and she's angry with her mother, and she sits down on the bed and her mom sits next to her and she's like, oh my gosh, I am so upset. And her mom seemingly gets what she's putting out there, but unfortunately instead takes her shopping, which only completely exemplifies Lisa's anxiety about her weight gain. When she finally gets to the mall, she does see something that she likes. When she tries it on though, it doesn't fit her, and Marge tries to make Lisa feel better, but she does this by continually commenting and referring to Lisa's weight gain instead of making Lisa feel better about picking a different shirt or trying on different sizes, or even just saying, hey, not all 8-year-olds are the same size, and it's kind of ridiculous that, that the size is for 8-year-olds, and kind of putting a standard on what 8-year-old sizes should be.
I think that is the look.
Mom, it's too big.
No, it's not. It's very flattering.
It's not your job to constantly comment on my appearance.
So obviously Lisa is very hurt by this, and in fact we see Lisa throw a tantrum, and in all of my years of watching The Simpsons, I think this is the moment where I think Lisa is most childlike. Lisa's forced constantly to have to be the adult in the situation, and she's having to be the adult in the situation with her mom. Her mom is almost babying her, and she knows that her mom is treating her like this because of the way she looks. And so she's had to rectify this, and that's a very adult feeling that your mother is judging you on the way you look. And it's really tough for her to get through. And I think to have this moment of tantrum, this absolutely loss of control, is really healthy for Lisa, because she so often is shown as the kind of, again, confident one in the show. She's the one who often solves the problem, or is just seemingly more mature or more knowledgeable than the rest of the cast. Of course, she is an 8-year-old, so she shouldn't she shouldn't be the smartest one on the show, but most of the time it feels like she is. We have Homer, who, you know, realizes both his wife and daughter are upset, and he goes to comfort Lisa and hear what's going on. Immediately, Lisa tells him, and he understands. Homer, of course, has probably been through the same thing 1,000 times, and he's horrified to hear that Marge has said something that he knows can be so damaging himself. And he even makes a joke that they should just run away and leave, because that might be better, and that maybe Marge isn't Lisa's real mom. I think that this is just like such a caring moment where it doesn't, like, where Homer is so focused on loving his daughter and is so horrified by what his wife says that, you know, he really is preoccupied with just getting his daughter the care that she needs in this moment, of course. And I think I appreciate that wholeheartedly, for sure. And I've had similar moments with my dad, or both of my parents, where, you know, a parent says something that can seem more judgmental, but maybe comes from a place, which we'll go into later, that we don't really understand.
Mom called me chunky.
Oh my God. Marge did the one thing no parent is ever supposed to do. Acknowledge what their children look like. Oh, what do I say to make it better? I know. I'll tell her Marge isn't a real mother, and Lisa and I should pack up and leave forever. No, something about that feels wrong.
As we cut back to Marge and Lisa, we see Marge recognizing what she finally said to Lisa as Homer talks to her about it. And I feel like this is, for me, the most important, or really body-focused, appearance-focused conversation that was really important to see. As Lisa is struggling with her weight, she also is who she is in the moment. You know, she is someone who has put on extra weight at the moment because she's gained weight, or because she is heavier now. Her mother's expecting her to go back to normal, or be perfect again, almost putting like this idea in Lisa's head that Lisa with extra weight isn't Lisa. It's not normal, and it's not the perfect kid her mother wants. And of course, Marge doesn't understand that her words have had an effect, because all she can think about is her daughter returning to her daughter. And I think that that's a really important conversation to have around eating disorders, because you'll often have people either gaining weight or losing weight. And, you know, I think often you have good intentions. As I said in the previous episode, Marge always throughout this episode has good intentions. She's trying to make Lisa feel good, but the language she's choosing is very fat-phobic. And that's really unfortunate for Lisa, because instead of having this relationship, just like with her dad, where it's just like it didn't matter that she had gained weight, it just she had. And, you know, whether or not she lost the weight or not wasn't in her head. But Marge put this idea in her head that she wasn't who she was used to being.
Why couldn't I just keep my mouth shut? After all, now that you're off the steroids, soon you'll be back to normal. And you'll be my perfect little girl again. So we all better now?
Marge and Lisa still haven't reconciled this issue and are then told by Milhouse's mother that maybe they should see a psychiatrist or a hypnotist and really try and understand each other. So Marge and Lisa go and do this, and for me, there's a level where I almost feel like the episode didn't reconcile the real issue. And I do think that it's this idea, right, where Lisa and Marge see that each other both has these words that their mother feels like they feel like their mothers have put on them, and that now they can't kind of get out of their heads, but that they can try and shift their perspective and recognize that that isn't who they are. And we see this scene of Marge being called plain by her mother, and I think Marge's mother cared so much about appearances, and it created this catalyst for Marge, where Marge cared about appearances.
Plain! Oh my God! I don't remember her saying that. But now I know why. It's been in my head every waking minute. Oh, Lisa. Now I know exactly how I made you feel.
One resolution that I feel like it doesn't really have, and that's seeing Marge recognize that it shouldn't matter that Lisa has gained weight, that Lisa is Lisa, and that her words were generally fat-phobic, and I think that that's a conversation overall that's hard to have. What words are appropriate to use that don't make others feel hurt? I think it would be interesting to see if the creators decide to go further with this concept, if we see Bart and Lisa, return to their again, normal selves. And when I'm saying normal in this term, I do mean because there are thousands of episodes of them drawn the same way. Will they continue drawing Lisa just slightly heavier set, or are they going to continue drawing Lisa the way that they usually draw her? In this case, they'll probably continue drawing her the way they usually draw her, which isn't the same for people, Some people don't go back to normal, and I think just as an important conversation to have around eating disorders, that your normal, or the person that you're looking for, might not be there at the moment, but that doesn't mean that the person in front of you isn't. I think we often want to say when people have gained or lost weight, we want to comment on it. And I think that, honestly, it shouldn't be our business, and that the person in front of you is a human being. They're not the weight they gained or the weight they lost. And even when I don't fluctuate. My weight doesn't fluctuate largely. I've been around the same size my entire life. And we've talked about, obviously, my issues on this channel before. But personally, I did receive, when I went back to when I vacationed with my family in Tennessee, where my mother's side of the family lives, I did get comments on my appearance about how people were worried about me. And I was worried about myself at the time. I was very sick, and I was struggling with eating, like I always do, because of my autoimmune, and I was afraid I wasn't getting calories. But the worry didn't make me feel better. It almost made me feel worse, like I was failing at caring for myself when I was trying really, really hard. And I know that sometimes things look really dire in other people's situations, and I think that that's tough when you really care about someone, not to reach out and want to kind of comfort that part of them, but you don't know what part of them they're reconciling with. And I don't think it's fair to really try and delve into that with someone unless you really know them and really know what's going on. If you haven't seen Anonymously Thin's video, I think it's really good conversation on why we shouldn't be, or how we should talk about other people's appearances, whether they've gained weight, lost weight, look emaciated, are very like overweight or something. It's not our place to tell them that we're concerned for their health. It's just rude. I think the Simpsons episode did a really good job of really expressing that with Lisa, and I really appreciate this conversation that they decided to have this week. So I guess that's all for this series right now. I do want to talk about mental illness in other series. I would like to look into maybe talking to someone with DID who's seen the show Doom Patrol, as there's a character who I personally have felt really has a very strong representation for DID, but I would really want to see what others think. If you have any comments or thoughts about this video, please, let me know below. I'd love to hear from you guys. So have a great rest of your day. Be kind to yourselves. Bye.